If you had to summarize your advice to people, one word, this is hard. I've tried this before.
You have to have faith in yourself. Above all, faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your journey. Because if you don't have faith, there's no way you can be an entrepreneur.
So welcome to today's show. I've got Julz here, and we're going to talk about something interesting because a lot of females have been asking me, bring female entrepreneurs on, and you're a female entrepreneur that's gone from the 9-to-5 grind to like building your own life, your own empire, starting with social media, but branching into all kinds of stuff. So I got to ask you, let me ask you this. You're from Miami, you said.
Yes.
Just moved out to LA 9 months ago. Before we even get into business, what's better, Miami or Los Angeles so far?
I think that's very relative to like where you are in life and what it is that you're looking for. Obviously, for me, Miami is one of the best cities in the world. I'm definitely biased. I have a special affinity for my city, but everything from the culture to the, to the weather, to the nightlife, the tourism, the energy is very special. But for me right now, I'm my best version of myself in LA. I'm going to sleep earlier.
So less partying in LA?
It's definitely less. I've been kind of surveying the land.
Okay.
I party because it's actually what I make a profit off of at times. So
you're like me. I used to be in the nightclub business. Got paid to party.
Yeah. So we have a marketing agency and we produce all kinds of events. So I kind of just came out and was like trying all the different places. There's just a special energy in Miami, and my experience in LA so far has just been to kind of be like a student of the city and observe, and we're going to start activating, and we just did our first showcase at Peppermint Club.
Let's start. So what 9-to-5 job did you have before, and what's the main thing you're doing now?
Let's see.
We'll keep walking and talking.
What was my first night? Well, I was just...
What's the job you hated the most that you got forced in? Because a lot of people watching...
I hated working for a medical sales company. Hated it.
Why?
I just hated being at a desk. I hated being in an office. I hated hearing stupid small talk in the lunchroom. Like, oh, turkey again. Like, it was just really like, I felt like I was that character on TV that I never wanted to be. Like a grown-up.
So then you transition. Now is marketing and social media your main way you're making money?
Yeah, definitely. I would say the agency is one of the larger streams of revenue for me personally. I also have a management company, production company, and have like YesJulz also do things as a personality. So that makes a little bit of money also, but the agency is I think where I
What kind of agency? You manage people, social media, or you do it for businesses, or?
We have clients that we manage, yes, from artists to, Olivia and Natalie who are on E, they have their TV show, and they create, I think everybody's an entrepreneur these days. So for me, I really just enjoy meeting people, seeing what they're passionate and excited about, and then applying my knowledge and contacts and creative ideas to that. So whereas a client may have at first been a social media influencer, maybe now they are designing their own capsule collection or, creating their own book, or there's tons of different parts.
So is that what you mean by so basically?
But that's just one arm.
Okay.
There's also what I enjoy most is music, so we have a lot of clients. Like we have a skincare line that we represent. We have a weed company that we represent. Shout out Concierge. We have
What's it called?
Concierge.
Concierge, the weed.
I love that.
I like that name.
Yeah.
So it's the chronic concierge.
Exactly.
Adrian, are you a customer?
Oh,
No, you're not yet. Because
wait, what do they do? What do they do?
So it's a lot, but it's like the Prada of weed. You can't buy it anywhere. It's very exclusive. They have everything from the farms to this brand that they've created, which is basically like a concierge for the smoker.
Okay.
And they have a new product which is very unique. It's called the Ripper.
Okay.
And instead of just burning the same oil over and over again, like most vapes, there's a 360 technology that's specific to this design and model, that you're not just burning the same THC over and over, so it doesn't have that weird taste that sometimes you'll get when you're smoking vapes. If you smoke vapes, I am an advocate, and it's definitely going to be one of the largest industries we've seen to date. So I'm happy to be taking my hand in it, but we still will do everything. Like redesign their merch, consult on the packaging.
Is it you? Are you kind of the creative genius behind it all, or do you have people working with you?
Yeah, I definitely have a team that makes it possible for me to do what I do every day. But I think when it comes to like, hey guys, let's make our pre-rolls case like matte black with embossed gloss. That's usually coming from me, and I really enjoy like bouncing ideas off of my team. So.
But you're a Pisces.
Like
Pisces are the best designers. The most creative. Yeah, Pisces. My grandma. Oh,
Dr. Seuss was a Pisces. That's all I got.
No, they are creative. Rihanna.
Pisces. Yeah, so I really enjoy that. I enjoy creating experiences from the bottom up. Everything from, what the entranceway of a party is going to look like, who's greeting you there, what the sound and the music is like, how we're creating that experience with an arc throughout the night.
Yeah.
I have like a formula for parties where it's kind of, if you're in nightlife, maybe I've definitely borrowed some of this from my old mentors in nightlife and stuff, but you play reggae at the end of the night because that's how you set everybody up to go home. They get close to each other, you're giving them the layup, you start off maybe with some Ashanti jaw rule, some throwbacks.
Do you DJ too?
I'm not for hire, but I DJ for myself and my friends. And I have done for Galore magazine just because they're my boys. But so there's a lot we do. But the agency aspect is like I really just love building brands and, helping brands. What I realized at an early age was that there's a big disconnect between the culture and the brands and all the money that they're spending. And, I realized like, wow, there's all these people up there trying to figure out how to talk to us. And I've managed to somehow grow a platform, thank you to social media and the events and the people that I've connected with that have allowed me to leverage that platform. But through doing that, I can connect those dots and kind of help to make sure that cool things are happening. If I feel like brands want to talk to us, well, we're way more accessible. People like me, people like, the other people, yourself even, who are helping these brands kind of architect how they're going to speak to us.
Yeah.
And involving the people.
Yeah, because I feel like brands get disconnected. Oh. We got out of there just in time.
Yeah, that's right.
Sprinkler time.
Just in time. It's getting crazy back there.
So let's do three quick points for somebody that's like thinking of either going off and becoming a social media influencer or quitting their 9-to-5 job. So let's do this. This will be like one paragraph kind of your advice. So number one, how to overcome the hardest thing that you had to learn becoming an entrepreneur. What was that and how'd you overcome it?
This is one of those moments where I wish we were sitting down. No, I'm just kidding. There's so many hard moments. I think it's just being an entrepreneur is just the hardest thing to do is self-motivate yourself when you're going through something in your personal life or, especially being an entrepreneur that's like in the public eye. You're growing in front of everyone. You're making mistakes. You're literally like, no one in my family is an entrepreneur. Everyone in my family is still trying to figure out how to survive. And, I love them and they're amazing and I've learned so much from them. But as far as how to run a successful business and how to be financially responsible and, I've never had help in that area. So I'm going to make mistakes like that. I'm going to, I'm building a company and learning as I go. So luckily, finally, I've realized, the power in collaboration and allowing. For a while, I was very gung-ho about only hiring women and working with women, but now we're letting men play too. So
let me make number two then. That's a good point. Learning in front of the public eye is hard. So number two, what have you learned? Because you said you used to only hire women, now you're hiring men. What have you learned about that whole dynamic of like men versus women working for you?
I'm not gonna. I think it's very controversial topics.
But just tell your gut. I mean, nobody's gonna get mad if you say you're heartfelt.
There needs to be a mix. We're women. We are very passionate and we're very emotional, and it's good sometimes to have like that buffer energy, that male energy, and just kind of even just being a woman. Sometimes it's difficult because women they don't say what's really on their. We need women to be more comfortable and feel empowered enough to speak exactly how they feel and say what's on their mind. I think we've become very accustomed to trying to be polite. And I know myself, this is me still learning at 27 years old to just be like, this isn't going to work for me. Take it or leave it. This is what I need in order to do this. And like, I feel sometimes we have come up in a patriarchal society where it's like, prior to a couple years ago, there wasn't as many opportunities for women, and so it was more of a competitive kind of
now
thing.
social media has kind of equaled the playing field. You got just as many females in social media
as
as guys.
and not just that, and just obviously like back in the day, women had to their only shot at survival before we were allowed to vote, before we had jobs, before we were respected as equal members of society. We had to compete for men in order to secure ourselves a nice household, in order to have a family. And that was like kind of, it takes a while for a society to recover from that and to transform, and for women as a species to come to a place where we demand our place. And I think that the time is now. The time is now. The time has come. And finally, I think we're seeing these moments where it's like actresses in Hollywood are showing us these incredibly disappointing statistics of what. Who was it? Man.
You mean the pay differences that are happening?
I mean, literally, there was like a
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yes, Mark Wahlberg.
You're talking about in that reshoot of the movie where he got paid $1 million and she didn't get paid.
And here's the thing, and she didn't have it in her contract. Well, guess what? I'm sure when Mark was coming up, someone in his circle suggested a great lawyer to him, and allowed and helped him set up those key people in his circle, those that guidance for him. And as women, we don't always get that.
Yeah.
And so we need to start sharing our resources with one another as women. We need to start, not kind of trying to keep everything to ourselves, because only when we share can we get to a point where we can make this fight. Because if you go by yourself as a woman, you get to the top, and then you realize, wow, everybody in this room is making way more than me, and I'm doing just as much, if not more.
Right.
But where are my sisters that are going to fight with me? Because I left them all down there.
Yeah.
So the guys aren't going to fight. They're paid. They're good. I mean, and that's also, hopefully we get to a point where, and I was very, very impressed with like the amount of men and young men even that were at the march this past weekend. That's very important, and it's really important to see the next generation of kids see this like kind of, I don't want to necessarily call it the feminist movement, because everybody has their own, connotations of what that is. But, for them to be growing up in this time and so they can look at us as their equal and just have that with them. And, that's how it's going to continue to evolve. Anyways, I talk a lot.
That's okay.
Sorry. Because if you don't have faith, there's no way you can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I
mean, the number one thing that you do when you set out on creating something is believing in something that doesn't exist. Believing, it's faith that your clients have in you. It's just, it's so important all around. Yep.
That was good.
Hey.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.